Hello friends, and welcome to another vlog of Reading Rainbow here on B, Mama B, PBS Don't Sue Me. Well, the book that I have for you today, let me just tell you two things. 5 out of 5 stars and read within 72 hours. That for me is usually a pretty good indicator that this book was exactly what I needed to hear. The book, without further ado, as it was on my Kindle and I can't show you the cover, is Pastrix. I believe that is how the book, how the title is pronounced. The Cranky, Beautiful Faith of a Sinner and Saint. It's by Nadia Bolz-Weber, who has quickly, in just this last week, become one of my favorites. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Let's start with the bad. Here's the deal. She's pretty raw. She's pretty authentic. She's not going to beat around the bush that she is a sarcastic, cussing, crazy lady whom people just love. I think she's really grown to be someone who's just real for a lot of people who are on the edges. And maybe every single one of us is on the edge, and so that is why she is just so attractive. But it's one of those that I was thinking about it probably 10, 20 years ago. Had I read the book and read the very first sentence of the book, which was something like, shit, I'm going to be late for seminary class, I would have probably gone, all red flags up, and I wouldn't have known what to do with cussing and seminary or cussing and Jesus being in the same sentence. But maybe that's not really the case for you. That being said, I think she does definitely have more liberal views, liberal progressive views, and that might just be new, but I would still encourage you to pick up the book and read it and be refreshed in ways that maybe you haven't necessarily thought about Christ or grace or death and resurrection or any of those types of things. I want to read to you just a couple of sentences from the book that grabbed me from the beginning. I'm a huge fan of spiritual issues, as you probably have seen and read about on my blog, and I do think that everything is interconnected. I do also think that God's grace is bigger than any of us oftentimes put boxes around, and she does such a phenomenal job of sifting through that. Let me read you this line right here that grabbed me. It was the very end of her first chapter. She says, "Death and resurrection, the recurring experience of seeing the emptiness, weeping over our inability to fill it or even understand it, and then listening to the sound of God speaking our names and telling God's story is a messy business." Oh, I loved that. For me, as someone who's coming out of ministry right now and just stepping into this new world of mamahood and of writing and speaking, I can tell you it's messy. It's not pretty, but I loved that she was able to enter into the mess. Perhaps, potentially, really exactly like Jesus did with us. So I will say this, again, 5 out of 5 stars. If you are a Christian, I would encourage you to read it, no matter where you might fall in the theological spectrum, whether liberal or conservative, whether progressive or fundamentalist in your faith. I think that she is an eye-opener who will refresh your faith in new and exciting ways. If you're not a Christian, I would encourage you to read it, and not in a conversion sense of the word at all, but simply because she's real and she's gritty, and I think you might just get a new picture of the Christ. And finally, if you just need a good dose of beauty and comedy and fun and laughter and deep and shallow and all that kind of stuff, I would encourage you to read it. It's just a great book, and I do hope that you enjoy it as well. Have a great day, friends. Bye-bye.